Hey folks, welcome back to Timberpunk, and we are going to start trying to scale things up. So with that in mind, down here, I have put in and speed things up. I've put in a bunch more lumberjacks. We've got everything, he says, yep, everything marked to be cut. And with a bit more pathage, they should have access to everything. So hopefully that'll get sorted. I just need them to get to building everything. I've put in a load more log storage to be built. So if I click, you'll see loads more log storage to be built. Also brought more beavers, more bots across, sorry, not more beavers. And actually we'll probably give them a few more haulers as well, because that will help. I've therefore put more chargers to be built, and I've also put a steam engine to be built there because I'm not sure this can provide enough power for all of those chargers. So that's all of that. Under here, because I've not really played on much since you guys were here last, there's a load of planks for them to pick up and some more of this to be built still. Up here, we now have corn. And we also actually have a fairly full corn storage, so I've also increased the number of you guys should not be importing any food. You should just be exporting it. I've increased the number of workers in the district crossing on both sides. So that should really help. So we want to be importing corn into District 1. We want to be importing, not cassavas, canola seeds and eggplants. There were some foods as well. Kohlrabies. I think we've got those set as well. Awesome. So that'll be good. So hopefully we should be moving a lot more stuff out. So we also need to get fermented cassava out and kohlrabies. So let's just make sure that those are going across. Yeah, looks like they will be. Awesome. So that's this district. So primary goal is get this cleared out because I'd like to get this filling up. And we're going to keep working on this so we can then work on expanding the farms. This district, so there's a few things that I want to focus on. One, expanding this, avoiding this bit for now. So I think maybe what we'll do is just blast some more of this out. Because we've got easy access to it. Though I'm playing in version 1.0 now. I'm in the released version of the game. I was pleasantly surprised that all I needed to do was copy my save across from experimental saves into saves, switch from the experimental version into the release version. All the mods worked, and yeah, very pleased with that. So that's going to give them something to do. But what we are going to be focusing on is getting across here. And I'm going to prioritize that. Maybe actually really what we want to do is, so what I want to get to is this bubbling bad water seep. Now I don't think, because ultimately what we want to get to is this mine. But I don't think, and there's this whole underground sort of complex here. But I think we're going to have to start above ground with our tubeway. But what we could do is maybe come off here and out here, but we need to clear somewhere for it to access. But I wonder if what we do, I said we were going to be going quicker, but there's a bit of setup to do, so bear with me, folks. Vertical tubeway tunnel, we are 202.30. So let's start going down from there. Go down another one, and what I'm thinking is we put a come on game, come on, keep up. If we put a tubeway station over here, because we've got to come in here and start doing stuff. So if I then did our vertical tubeway tunnel underneath that there, we obviously want to go down a little bit more. Do we want a tunnel there? That should be okay. That's not, I don't think that's going to affect things significantly. I'm going to go down one more, because I think we're probably okay to run along there and through there. Let's just come up one. Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't like where the thorns are there, so I'll check anyway and make sure that this doesn't give us any issues. Yeah, we look good there. So back over here, vertical tubeway tunnel. Let's go down, down one more. Well, that is an issue there, because we do want to make use of that area as well. So what we'll do, in fact, is go up there. We'll come across a few, because that shouldn't be a problem. And then, so we're now 204.31. 204.31. We'll go down, zoom out so we can see 204. There. So I like to make sure I've got the number as well. 204. There. Oh, I'm really struggling with that. 204.31. Yeah. It seems to jump every time I go 5. That's really weird. 204.32. 204.30. 204.30. 204, 203, 204.30. That's really, is it not going to let me do 204.31? Let's reselect it, go down one. If I go up a layer, there, select our vertical tubeway tunnel, go down, no, it's not, because it's hollow underneath, that'll be why, right, so in that case we want to come across another 2, and then we should be able to 206.30, 206.30. There we go. Right. Well, that was a lot more work than it should have been. Tubeway under platform tunnel, and that was the wrong one. It should be a vertical tubeway. So, there, and then we want vertical. So there. No, do it properly. There. tubeway, vertical tubeway, tubeway under tunnel platform. That should be a vertical tubeway. So I think you should be a vertical. So you don't need to be a vertical. You can be a one of those. Not that it matters, I don't think. And that gets us hooked up all the way to there. You we are looking to access as well at some point, but let's focus on. Oh, there's a thingy there which we will need to deal with. So I don't know when that goes off, so because I've not played with that there before. So let's crank the old game speed up now. So I want to be able to build this from both ends. So although we've put all of that in, I'm still going to put in a path. And because we're using bots for our builders, it shouldn't matter that there's bad water there. And I'm just going to double check that. Yep, we're good. So the reason we've got the contaminated beavers still is from the incident with the hole in the roof. Cool. So over here, we've now got all of this going on, which is great. Grab you, put you there. You can be deleted, and I guess we are out of space for planks. So let's build some plank storage. And we're going to have to clear all of this stuff up at some point. Because this is supposed to be farmland. And at the moment, it's not. But, you know, 'tis what it is. 'Tis what it is. This is getting nice and full. And hopefully this time I won't let it all leak out. I think so far we've only got corn out of here. And so what I want to do now on this side is start looking at upping our ability to deal with stuff. Thank you for the people that pointed out that I didn't need power for this guy. Now, again, not a huge problem, although we are now supplying less than our demand. Now we can deal with that by adding this guy in. So let's have a look at that, shall we? The easy way to do that is to bring this across here, isn't it? So I say easy. It's a fairly long run, and we'd probably want to do it in a neat way. And I think ultimately the easy way to do that in a neat way is to cut a bit of an explosive path. So let's try and stop pausing the game, because that way we'll make some progress. So let's do something like that, and then we'll work out how we're going to hook it in. These guys too far from a district. Okay. Is that because I didn't put the path on top of there? Probably. How's this looking? So the depth is 0.4. So we could now make use of the new flow control valves to control all of this, couldn't we? How would we adjust this to do that? I guess we'd want to do it from somewhere here. So let's delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Might need to move this water wheel. We've got the throttling valve. I could put them there, there, there. I can't put them there. I could put them there, and there, and there. And 3 should be enough, I would think. So let's do that there. Oh, I now can't put a throttling valve there. Okay, so let's do... And I can't put them there either. But we can let that be up to unlimited. So unlimited should be sufficient because unlimited is, well, unlimited. Isn't that the definition of unlimited? I've not tested because obviously we haven't had them that long as to whether they are truly unlimited. But so what I'm thinking we do is if we do that, then we can still get that way. We then build levees on top of there. Actually, I mean, that will block all of that off anyway. So, yeah, let's reinstate that for now. I'm going to set these to unlimited. And we can be a bit more cleverer with how this works. But we can also do many more things. So let's do many more things. These guys are working pretty quickly, and in this district we have a shortage of a single beaver or single bot by the looks of it. So let's just up the minimum number a little bit more. Yep, that's fine. So, right, the other thing I said I wanted to do was look at storage of stuff. And I think to do that, we want to look at expanding the Tubeway network because we've got a lot of empty space that we can make use of. But obviously we don't want it to be a long way from everywhere. So, and we've got Tubeway here. Or we've got Tubeway here. But what I'm thinking is we head this way and we make use of this big open area here. So, and that way it's somewhat close to this. So let's go. Leave the game running. Yeah, we will achieve more that way. Let's go there. Let's go another one. Let's try and make sure. That's why I want to pause it, because they will do it quicker than I can think. So 9078. 9078. We've got a little bit of a repository there, which is set to be emptied. So that should be far enough down, I think. So where do we want to put this? I think this is a nice area because I might plant trees through here. So I think we go over here. These can go now. So let's delete this random path network. Let's put our tubeway station down. Put that down. So we are on 64,131. 64,113 I meant. And that's as far down as I went. So let's join those two up. And that was not quite what I wanted to do. So let's do an up there. Delete you. Grab that again and run to there, and then check that we haven't exposed ourselves at all, because we would not want to do that, ladies and gentlemen. So do not expose yourselves, folks. So let's get rid of that, and that will be wonderful. So we'll get that going in. And then we want to unlock the large warehouses. And we're going to build a complex. Now, do we sink some of these? There's the question, folks. There's the question. There is some storage under there as well. I was aware of that one is there. We are going to get to that. I do not see a reason not to. So let's step back one, because we have the ladders mod. And that's 10 by. If we do a 12 by, that will let's put 4 warehouses down there. I was watching JC's stream yesterday. I found quite amusing. People were super excited that the ladders mod had been updated. It's like, well, it worked because it worked in the 1.0 experimental, I think, because I just updated everything and it all worked just fine. But anyway, so this is looking really nice, isn't it? Let's have a look under here. If you were the person that was excited about that, I apologize, but it just kind of tickled me that I just switched my game from experimental to the main branch and it worked without having to have any mods be updated. So yeah, right, so things are going to get interesting because we've got our tubeway running through there, haven't we, at the level that we want to irrigate. So this is going to get interesting, folks. Let's just quickly check over here. Come on, game. You can do it. This is not connected up yet, so that's fine. I assume they are working on it? Question mark? If we want them to work on it from both directions, we need to hook up this, don't we? There we go. And then they'll come at it from both ends. Can't get the required materials. Oh, we out of extract. No, we are low on extract, but we are not out of extract. So, this one is hooked up to the rest of the grid, isn't it? Yeah. So they should be good for that. Who's got nothing to do? You've got nothing to do, so you can be retired. You guys are okay for things to do. There will be a little bit more pathage needed as we get deeper in. So I'm just going to let them keep working on that. They're doing a sterling job. So I'm just thinking about this. And where we would want an irrigation point about here. So actually we can get away with that. So tunneling, said in James May voice, or full effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to reinstate the ladders up to here, and then we're going to use tunnel with path under platform tunnel. Come here, we're going to come here, and then we're going to stay well away from the Tubeway network, and we're going to see how they get on with that fella. We don't like that. We do not like that at all, one bit. No, thank you very much. So how do we avoid that and avoid that? Good question. I am glad you asked. This is why you should plan your colonies, folks. If I go there, what does that look like? What we might end up doing is actually just building some more dirt. That is another option. But what does that get me? That gets me away with it. Just about, I think. Yep, let's go with that. Ship it, folks. Ship it. Looks like it's just under there, but we can, if we have problems, just put a little bit more dirt in. So, and we'll see what that gets us for irrigating more stuffs. Yeah. So it does look like we need to up our extract production. I think at the moment we have this one centrifuge, which would explain why that's a issue. Yep. So I put those in the wrong way, in the wrong order, not necessarily the wrong way around. I want to go that way. So we do need to do a bit of an expansion of our industrial base. And actually we're quite low on bad water as well. So, but let's for now grab you, put a couple of you there. I think predominantly we're low on bad water because this thing is full of fresh water. Because this is not opening, even though it is, well, you know, it's pumped. They've pumped all the bad water out from our spillage earlier. We're full on actual water, so that's why we've had that little challenge. Why we continue to have that little challenge. So this should resolve itself. In the depth there is 0.36. It should go down, he says, confidently. That should just dry out in the drought. I'm surprised that more bad water's not going that way. I guess with how we've changed the flow of things, maybe it's just not naturally happening. So we might need to move where we pump bad water from. Now we could do that. We could pump some bad water from here. So because we are Iron Teeth, we don't have any other more powerful way of getting bad water. So, you know, it is what it is. I built a whole load of those, didn't I? Yeah, so you can go away. You can go away. So let's get you, and then let's run that along there, and let's prioritize those. And that'll help us out, and I guess we could disable the rules for those buildings and just pause them for now because they're not really doing very much for us. And we could put those bots in there. Job's good. That should do just fine for us. Right. And across all of the different things, that should help do something. That's doing a thing. Are we doing a thing over here? Because we have our SEEP coming online in 2.1 days. This is not connected yet. But as we have a path to here, that doesn't stop us with our relatively large workforce trying to make our way in here. So just because it's a long walk doesn't mean it's not a fun walk. So if we were to come in here, we go around here, we go around here. Let's see, so we go down these stairs. That's a blockage, so we demolish that. Let's get some more path. So let's go that way. They'll get to that. Because we might actually just be able to get to this before they've even got this built, you know. Because, yes, I've got distracted. I know. It happens, folks. I don't quite have a diagnosis for it yet. But medical professionals think there's a reason why. Not just that I can't pay attention to things. So that's getting done. That is reasonably well on the way to being done. That's in a pretty good place. We need to put in a curved ladder there. Get that done. That's been done, so we can do that. So we can get down here now. So they can get to that. And I think we're going to have to build some form of stairs or ladder. That's fine. We have that technology. And there's lots of nice, lovely science in there. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I guess there's a few planks there. We could delete that to get to those logs. I could make that and obtain, because we need some planks to do the building we need to do. Connect that up, and that gives us access to the resources we need. We can put that there. Let's make that a priority, and then we go down to there. And that seep is just there. So how do we get to that? I think we just go straight through that wall. The seep's going to go in 0.4 of a day, which is a bit of a problem because we are not going to get to it in time. But you know what? I mean, I'm assuming it's actually connected. And not just on its own. Maybe it's on its own. Am I being dumb here? I don't trust Evil Map Maker at all. So I am going to try and get to this. Because there must be more to that than there being some mangrove fruits there. So, yeah. It is now active. But we are going to try and get to it. And we are going to try and... I guess we could just dynamite out. I'm going to prioritize you and you and you. And we'll come back to that in a bit, probably when it's completely... Actually, what we could do is... Because I'm smart, not... Because we can get those by just deleting the warehouse. So we don't actually need to empty it. We can just do that. Actually, we don't even need to do dirt. We could do levees. And that should, unless I am very much mistaken, deal with the issue, and we can then leave them to work on that and come back to it later. And at some point that will connect, and that will be good. Right, that's in. So you can't believe it's not H for boom. Where I find that I've laid this over something else that I didn't want to expose through explosives. Right. Well, I've at least let water flow through that way, but that's not a massive problem. Right, you. To there. And then, actually, we'll let them build that before I put the soil on top, because otherwise they'll probably do that first. Because we know what beavers are like. And I think, with a little bit of work, we might be able to get them access to all of that. Let's do that. And that is in a very convoluted way connected. So let's shorten that. I wish when you clicked B on a platform that had a path on it, they took the path as well. That'd be kind of cool, because that's what I'm trying to duplicate, is a platform with a path, not just a platform. You can't believe it's not H for boom. And that will condense a load of that water down to a smaller area, which is good for evaporation. And actually we've gone too far, because those are the maximum depth, and that's now deeper than they can pump out, which is slightly annoying because I'm a dummy. Oh well. Lavy, folks. This is not the end of the world. Right, you are done. You can go find something more useful to do, like be employed down here to cut down oak trees. Because I heard you love cutting down oak trees, sir. And we're also going to come down here, grab you, put you there. Yep, you are bots. Awesome. And that is that. Now, if we wanted to make use of that, then we need to start going up this way. So let's think about that, shall we? Pathage. Pathage, and to there. And we will hold, because we're going to need to sort out a bad tide divert for that. Awesome. Right. U for you can't believe it's not. H for boom. And then we're going to do a single layer. So let's put 2 lots of warehouses under the ground. And we're going to do U there. Actually, no, we're going to do U all the way along, because we need room to put a path in front of them, don't we? Yep, we do. That would have been way more sensible. Right, how are we doing with our new throttling system? So now all of the flow is going through here. Now what I want to do is get rid of that, build this up to here. So we might want a path. Actually, we can drain that path up then. Doesn't matter that that's hollow under there because it's connected in the corner. It's fine. How are we looking under here? I mean, we're in a drought actually, aren't we? So it's the perfect time to be attacking that seep. Can you believe I forgot to blow up the explosives? So we'll leave that for now. How are they doing with connecting this up? They're getting there. They're getting there slowly. Yeah, I'm guessing extract is the short thing that's holding that up. Bad water we are somewhat low on after our problem before, but anyway. So with that in place, if I throttle that to 1 meter per second, a single block exit there. I don't really like that. Let's come through here. Delete all of those. I'm going to open that up a bit. It's not a massive problem, but just going to open that up a little bit. I guess, I mean, that's kind of one all through there, isn't it? But anyway, let's put some explosives really along kind of there. Yeah, something like that. Right, how are we doing with our power line? That's all in. That's going in. So let's put the dirt back. Let's not build a dirt excavator over the top of it, you numpty. If that's not a word you're familiar with, that's an English term for stupid person. Yes. There we go. Lovely job. All right, that's that going back in. Excellent. How are we doing up here? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's give those a bit of a priority nudge, please. How are we doing down here? A lot of beaver activity. They are through. Awesome. So you should get that built quite quickly, and that should block that off. And if we build some more storage for mangroves, or assign one of these to be mangrove fruits, or two of these to be mangrove fruits, because they should essentially empty these if I give them access to them, because I've been a dummy. Right, so where were they? There. So we've got a path to there, so let's run. We've got lots of stuff to path to now, but we can run a path down there, path to there, path through there, path to there, path to there. We've got loads of resources down here. It's like a little gold mine. So they should, let's prioritize those by haulers. Oh, that one was mangrove. Oh, they're mangrove fruits now because I've just set them to mangrove fruits, hasn't I? So yeah, so they'll empty those. We can then delete that, and they should then pick up all of those mangrove fruits. Particularly if we make those a super high priority. And we'll set those to be supplies, so that although they can use them for storage, they don't actually use them for storage. Awesome. So that's that dealt with. And to get to the mine, we've got a bit more work to do. But I think we're still okay for scrap metal at the moment. So if we go down into our mine shaft and zoom in a bit, we still have access to scrap metal. And I still want to clear this out, so that's fine. Right, over here, what we're going to do is detonate the stuff around the outside, detonate that, put in the other double explosives, put the ladders and the paths in, and then they'll be able to get to the bit in the middle. How are we looking down here, actually? It's been a while since we've looked underground down here. So we were... Oh, we have filled that with explosives and done that job. So I guess the next job is to start the process of bringing the deeper bad water, all the way back now. So let's have a look at doing that. And in the process, lowering the wheels. So the idea is to make this one block deeper all the way along. And I guess something that might help with this is to try and make it quite a bit deeper, because then it'll encourage water to flow into it. So let's do that. Why can't I? Is that? Oh, that's because that's the bottom of the map. But if we blow that out as well, that might help. So let's do that. We'll see how much they can place, actually. They might be able to place all of that. So we need to delete those. Put that. Not do that. Do that. And then I think my plan is going to be to just start replacing these one at a time. So currently they can't get to that side. So let's enable that, and we'll just use some platforms, I think, this time. So, yeah. There we go. So they should be able to get that now, which is cool. Right, over here. So I think what we want to do is put in somewhere. And I'm not sure where. Just because I'm thinking about where we can actually get to build it with everything that I've built now. We can get through there, actually. So let's unlock the depth sensor and put it there. And I guess we could put one there as well. Oh, can I not? Oh, let's get rid of that. Put that there. Let's put in some more explosives through there. And then we're going to unlock the relay and put that there. So we're going to set the threshold to 0.55, greater than 0.55, greater than 0.55. And we're going to do an OR. We're going to call this main channel. I've got caps lock on, so I'm going to shout that. We've only got 2 at the moment anyway, so I'm not going to bother renaming them. I'm going to come in here. We're going to automate off of main channel. And if it is off, we know 1 is okay. So if it's on, we're going to go for 1. We know 1 is okay. I'm going to open up. So let's go into real automation and pause the rules. Let's open you up. So when I say I know 1 is okay, do I really know 1 is okay? That is a very good question. I'm glad you asked that. Right, let's detonate that out. So I'm glad you asked that question. You are right to question that. I feel like 1 is okay. What we don't know is our actual flow rate. We do have CMS down here, and it's way under 1. So, I think what we can do is synchronize and then start to open all of them. And we'll see how we go. And we know that if the depth goes above 0.55, this will start to restrict the flow rate. But maybe we want to restrict it more than that, actually. just in case. So it is restricting, and then it's open to go up again. And the nice thing is that because there's a back way out of this, it doesn't have to be sealed. Overflow will just go out of the back, which I really like. Do not like the game lagging so much, and that means now we're outputting way more power. So we're kind of creeping up. Actually, we're sitting quite nicely. And we're generating 13,000 power now. So maybe we could go a little bit more. Maybe we can do a little bit more. I love these flow control valves. I know a lot of people didn't like them when they were introduced, but in the right situation, they're super powerful. They're so powerful for this kind of thing. They give you so much control because that's essentially what they are. So it's creeping up a little bit. And it doesn't matter that we're taking bad water out from here because that's accounted for in how the flow state is working. So, yeah. I love this. This is awesome. So it's come on. It's slowed the flow down a little bit. And because of the heights of everything, it'll just send more this way. So I think we'll leave that to do its thing. Over here, we are not yet connected by the looks of things. We are close. That's cool. We are close. Over here, we have got almost all of the trees cut down. I need one more ladder that I had missed. So let's get that put in. Did I not mark you to be cut? I did not. Let's get you marked. You can go. You can go. You can go. And what we'll do is we will concentrate a bunch of lumberjacks around here to get these cleared out. Looks like we didn't mark you to be cut either. We did. We just managed to fill up all of that log storage that I made? No? Okay. Can we not get to that one? No. Okay. Right. Well, we can address that through the application of explosives. Which says to me we want to start to think about this now. And also, let's have a look under here, shall we? Got a feeling that's going to tell me, yeah, it's too far from a district. Okay. Which bit of path did I miss? You? Yes. Always. Right. How are our exports looking? I guess the question is, how are we looking in this district for... We've not brought canola seeds in or eggplants, probably because we don't have storage for them. So let's just look at our distribution. we've been told to bring eggplants in if needed. So we need to have a look at that in a moment. So that's you. You there, and through there. And then we want some double platforms, 2 lots of those, because the large warehouses are too high. Not too high, but too high. And now let's also get those put in. So that's good. And we have 3 lots of... So we've cleared off most of the bridge. That's pretty awesome. So let's... Actually, no. Let's prepare to move you. So let's copy you, although we don't have any rules set on you. And then let's get that done, and that should get you doing that. Let's get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. I mean, really, maybe we should be dynamiting a bunch of this stuff out. Oh, my greyhound just gave the biggest sigh. His life is so tough. His life is... at the moment, he's on meds because he's got a big cut on his leg. Well, it's not a big cut. It's a small cut, but, you know. When you're a greyhound, everything is way more dramatic. So, we'll do the same here. We'll put this back. And we'll put the explosives in on there as well. Just because I think it makes more sense. And then over here we need to... no, we need to do you. So you need to go. Then we're going to need to be more switched on with sorting this out. So, alright, let's get back over here. Got one more piece of explosives to put in. So, come up, there we go. Detonate that. And then let's build these big warehouses. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to give us storage for lots of stuffs. So we want you, yeah, mushrooms will be good. Eggplants would be good. Corn would be good. We're not growing algae yet, but we might as well store that. And coffee beans would be good as a starter. And we also want those all to be supplies, really. So, but we'll deal with that in a moment. Right, that is all of the trees cut down. So you can go... You can all go do something more productive, and let's coat this liberally with explosives, and let's liberally apply path as well. Through there. Connect that in and that'll be fine. Yep. Who has nothing to do? You have nothing to do. Why do you have nothing to do? Because that is a blockage, and then we need to put some stairs in. Sneaky. Right. We're coming to the very end of the drought, and the irrigation has actually worked pretty well. So we are hopefully exporting lots of things through here. But we'll see how that all works out. This is now generating lots more power, which is lovely. We could probably have this one a tiny bit higher, but you know, let's be a little bit conservative on that. And essentially, if it backs up, as I said, it just pushes, well, it just kind of holds it a little bit. But if you watch, you'll see it kind of pulses a little bit, and there's room for it actually here to just back up, which is cool. This has been able to stay pumping the whole time, and we've stayed almost full on water, which is awesome. We almost don't need to expand that now, but we can. We can now come across here, run that there. We'll use the automation tool to stop them getting stuck, hopefully, and screwing up. And then we can hook that into the rest of the power grid just through those. That'll be great. Other things that I wanted to look at doing, I want to continue clearing up here. So we've got a load of stuff marked over here, but we will mark even more. Let's get some path going. So we'll get some path into there. We'll get some path across to there. And then we're going to get into here and get these aquifers running soon. TM. That's the end of the drought. We've been going for just over an hour. So I think, folks, I'm going to end it here. Because I don't want this to be another hour 45 epic. Like the end of the Craters series. So next time, hopefully we can start the process of getting this sorted. I'm actually tempted to cancel these for now because we've got a lot going on. We need to block this off once we've got this blasted out, but we're in a great place now. So if we can just do a quick one of those, that gets rid of all of the stumps, because you don't have to work to delete stumps now, which is awesome. That was a great little change. We obviously need to bring in power for the aquifers, but we'll bring that across from here. That won't be an issue. This is nice. At some point, we're going to have to start retreating all this industrial stuff so that we can actually make this into the gigantic farm I want it to be. It deserves to be. So the next one we need to put in is going to be about here. Oh, we've got another unstable core. Let's just pause for a moment before we... so let's go here. And then let's see if we can hook in to that one again. And we've got one piece there, but what we'll do is we'll just put a piece of dirt on the top there as a high priority. So where is this unstable core? Okay. So you're going to take out that and that. So you're going to flood we're going to take out the very bottom of that. And then flood all of that complex. Right, okay, where does this get bad water from? Just that bad water source. Well, we have 17 days. So I think what we do is we just cap that guy. So I see no reason not to do that. So before we finish, we will just prep that. Bosch bridge, triple bridge. Yeah, I see no reason not to use that as the option. You need that. I'll sort you out. These more kohlrabies, why not? Set you as a supply. Yeah, set you as a supply. Berries, yep, set you as a supply. And I don't really want to have that many gears. Fermented cassavas, set as a supply. Jobs are good. And at this point, I think you can go away. And let's just tidy up a bunch of these paths. There we go. But I'm pretty pleased with our efforts today, folks. We are in a much better place for getting this sorted. Actually achieved something useful with the automation mod. And massively increased the power output of our power system, which is cool. We got ourselves into down here. We're not quite connected up with that still. Oh, we didn't need the bridge. Okay. Don't build the bridge. Just build that. Good stuff. Oh, cool. They got that done. So what we can do now is power across there and across there. And they should just be able to build that without any issues. That'll be good. Yeah, that's the easiest way of dealing with that. And also it turns off the fact that it produces bad water. And I'm kind of keen to work on slowly capping the different bad water sources across the map. Anyway, I am finishing, aren't I? Yeah, I was doing that 10 minutes ago. So thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you all. I'll thank you to the patrons and YouTube channel members. And I will see you all next time.